Let me give you an example, a modern example of what I'm talking about, like today. Robert Mueller brings indictments against 12 Russians who are part of the Putin regime. Rod Rosenstein gives a press conference. He makes it abundantly clear not a single American has been indicted, that these Russians were trying to interfere with our election. It's all over the news. It's Friday. They played it on Friday. They can't get their hands on a single one of these Russians. Not one of these Russians is going to do prison time. Not one. And the media run with this like it's some monumental event. It's a non-event. This should have been handled through a counterintelligence investigation. That's why these matters are not criminal matters. Because you can't get your hands on the defendant. Now we have defendants who are in Russia, who work for Putin or used to work for Putin. What are we supposed to do about it? Seriously, what are we supposed to do about it? And then I see some media types say, lay off Mueller. He's doing his job. See how great he is, blah, blah, blah. Lay off Mueller. He's doing his job. Is there a single public official, ladies and gentlemen, we should lay off if we don't think they're doing their job? Do you understand what I mean about the media? NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC. Have they ever taken a critical look at Robert Mueller? Have they ever taken a critical look at any of the people on his team? Even certain people on Fox, have they ever taken a critical look at Robert Mueller? Or members of his team? No, they haven't. And yet he's an enormously powerful man who, if he wants, can seek to bring down a president. But they're not going to bring him down. Do you want to know why? They're not even going to question Mueller. Now, why do you think they're not going to question Mueller? Yes, because of their ideologies. But what else? Because he and his people are sources. That's why. So they don't touch them. They don't touch them. And they're not going to. There's a present-day example. So, if the media are going to operate as if they are focusing towards one base of one party or another base of another party, they should reveal themselves. That's all. They should reveal them. But they won't. Because they get to have it both ways. When you watch on C-SPAN the White House Correspondents' Dinner, some of you who do, they almost never have a comedian who isn't of the hard left. Very rarely. Very rarely. It's trashing conservatives, it's trashing Republicans. The jokes against, like Obama, they're friendly, they're funny little jokes and so forth. Not when it comes to Trump or his staff. Not when it came to George W. Bush. Not when it came to, you name it. We all see this. We all know it. But we are told that we are forced to accept their reality, which isn't reality at all. It's not reality at all. Now, I was talking about early on in American history. I'm not going to get into every detail, but obviously there was a big jump over a period of decades. There was a famous case. And the same people who fought for liberty against the monarchy in England fought for liberty in our country, the ability to say what they wanted to say within reason, quote unquote, through pamphlets and newspapers and so forth. Even after the Revolutionary War, there were limits. It's not that there were limits placed on newspaper, there were limits. And basically what they said was, you can print whatever you want, but you can also be sued for defamation and slander, which were much more broadly defined back then. So you'll pay a price if you're inaccurate, or you'll pay a price if I think you ought to pay a price. What am I saying? I'm trying to say that today, you listen to these egomaniacs on MSNBC and CNN and commentators that they bring in, self-serving commentators selected to advance an ideology from the New York Times or the Washington Post or the AP or whatever. And they tell you we have never faced any time in our history this kind of threat against press freedom. The press has never been freer in this country, which is why you have the Don Lemons and the Wolf Blitzers and the conga line of miscreants and malcontents that are on MSNBC and CNN. I just picked those two out. You know, there's a whole group of them. You've never had a freer media and a more abusive media because they're dishonest in terms of self-identity. They won't identify themselves as what they actually are. They know who they are. They know what they think. We do too. But we're supposed to play this game that they're news people. When you watch those White House press conferences with Huckabee Sanders, those reporters aren't trying to get information. They're trying to score points. They're trying to move an agenda. They never conducted themselves that way against Barack Obama or any of his press spokesmen. Not that I can remember. Not that I can remember. So it's very, very dishonest. So that's liberty issue number one that we should discuss tonight, because it's a big deal.